All right, we start with actually some movie news from Deadline. And there might be more important things happening in the country, but I just thought that this was here's some actual good news, something a little something that we can celebrate. And this is Deadline. This is obviously a left-wing rag, and this is how they report on this. They say, blame the fact that it doesn't appeal to girls, blame Disney Plus for stealing family moviegoers, blame the lack of an ensemble Toy Story cast. Heck, blame everything, as Disney Pixar's Lightyear didn't do its magic by internal studio or industry standards this weekend, with $51 million, close to a third below its $70 million pre-release projection. It says this is an opening more in the vicinity of Pixar's original fare, so it could still leg out to $200 million. However, given how this IP was built on the back of the Toy Story brand, it's clear many were expecting significantly more. Lightyear overall was down in its global start, $85.6 million versus the top end $135 million estimate we reported. So, and it was beat by Jurassic World at the box office. And the long and short of it is that this new Toy Story movie, this offshoot, Lightyear, which again this was a film about the backstory of the toy Buzz Lightyear in the world, in the Toy Story world. And it's doing incredibly poorly at the box office, way below projections. It's basically a box office dud. Now, for a lot of other movies, $51 million would not be anything close to a dud. But given that this is Toy Story, it's part of the franchise, it's Disney, all of the marketing and media and press that went into this, $51 million is pathetic. And if you look at some of the headlines in entertainment media today, a lot of the headlines like this in Deadline, they're all trying to figure out what the heck went wrong. How could this have happened? This is a Toy Story brand movie that they're supposed to do $100 million. What's going on? It's a mystery. Who could possibly explain this? Well, it's actually not a mystery at all. I think there are a couple of potential explanations here. Not potential, but absolute. One of them is, before we get to the political part of it, one of them is actually that I think there reaches a point where even the standard moviegoer, with his famously low standards, is just kind of sick and tired of the same old thing. Just the same thing over and over and over again. You're just trying to shovel the same garbage into his mouth over and over and over again. Making a franchise out of everything. Like the first Toy Story movie was it was a cute little movie about toys that come to life. And that was 20 years ago? And 20 years later, they're still making these same things over and over again. So I think there's some exhaustion there on the part of the movie-going public, as well there should be. But even more than that is the fact that this is the woke Toy Story. And that's how it was advertised. And that's what the press was saying. That's the media attention it was getting. And people don't want that. Now, I haven't watched the movie. I'm not going to watch it. As far as I know, the only woke part of the film is that they put this lesbian kiss scene in there between two characters. I don't know if they're toys or not. Well, these are real people in the Toy Story universe. So these are like real people, but cartoons. Okay. So they're not toys, but there's a lesbian kiss scene. And the media's made much ado about that. In a positive way. They're celebrating it. And we know that Disney, they put that lesbian kiss scene in or they put it back, and originally they had it in the story. They took it out because they figured it didn't really help the story move along. They needed to cut it for time. They put it back in after the anti-grooming laws in Florida as a political statement. And the movie-going public wants nothing to do with that. Lots of parents, they don't want to bring their kids to a cartoon movie where there's a lesbian kiss scene. And they also don't want entertainment that has a political or ideological message. They're just sick and tired of it. Now, on Hollywood's part, they can complain about that and say that, no, we should have an unending, insatiable appetite for this kind of thing. We should want this content in all of our movies. if we were truly virtuous people, well, I disagree with that, but even if it was true, it's too bad. People don't want it. They especially don't want it from their kids' entertainment. Okay, there's not a lot of parents out there who want to take their kids to a movie and then leave the movie, and that movie is now an opportunity to have a discussion about LGBT issues. There aren't very many parents who are looking for that from their entertainment. So that's why it didn't do well. Which is why I would say to Hollywood, continue doing this all you want, because it's just total self-destruction. You're making yourself more and more irrelevant. As I've said before, I think that you can find kind of a parallel. This is sort of the bizarro world version of what Christian entertainment has done for so long. Okay, the difference is that with so-called Christian movies, like Christian branded entertainment, they put, just like woke Hollywood does now, they put the message before anything. The message is the most important thing. The difference is that with Christian entertainment, the message is actually good, so that's the good part. But story comes second, plot, writing, acting, all these things are just afterthoughts. The actual entertainment quality of the thing itself is an afterthought. And the idea among the Christian people in the Christian entertainment industry is that as long as the message is there, then sort of we've done our job. But you haven't really. Because what you should be trying to do is create great entertainment that also has the positive message, which maybe means the message could be a little bit more subtle. Woke Hollywood's doing the same thing. Taking the message, only this time it's a bad message, but the mistake they're making strategically is they make the message front and center. They especially did this with this Lightyear movie. That's all of the discussion about the Lightyear movie. It was all about the lesbian kissing. Nothing to do with the story. And they're paying the price for it. Meanwhile, and of course, they're not learning their lesson. So Star Wars, we know that the Star Wars franchise in general has gone woke, has arguably been woke from the beginning, you might even say. But their Twitter account in particular is very woke. So they were responding over the weekend to some random Twitter user who said to them, "Don't make Star Wars political." And then the Star Wars account responded and said, "Number one, queer characters existing isn't political. Number two, Star Wars is literally in our name." Not exactly sure what they're going for with point two. But number one, they say queer characters existing isn't political. Well, it is though, and you've decided that. See, you use the quote-unquote queer characters to make political points. That's exactly what Disney did with the Lightyear film. So no, that's exactly the case. You use these characters to make political statements. That was your decision, not ours. People have noticed, and they just want no interest. They have no interest in it. They want no part of it. Well, I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Matt Walsh Show. If you did, be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel and click the notification button to get more content like this. If you want to watch or listen to the full show, head to dailywire.com and subscribe today. You can also listen to my podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.